Kyle Larson has been suspended indefinitely for using a racial slur during a live stream. He just actually released his apology, and I'm going to show you that now.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm sorry. Last night I made a mistake and said the word that should never, ever be said. And, there's no excuse for that. I wasn't raised that way. It's just an awful thing to say. And I feel very sorry for my family, my friends, my partners, the NASCAR community, and especially the African American community. I understand the damage is probably unrepairable, and I own up to that. But I just wanted to let you all know how sorry I am, and I hope everybody is staying safe during these crazy times. Thank you.
So there's Kyle Larson's apology. I'm now going to read to you the statement from Chip Ganassi Racing and then the statement from NASCAR. Chip Ganassi Racing states that we are extremely disappointed by what Kyle said last night during an iRacing event. The words that he chose to use are offensive and unacceptable. As of this moment, we are suspending Kyle without pay while we work through this situation with all appropriate parties. And then NASCAR, here's what they said. NASCAR has made diversity and inclusion a priority and will not tolerate the type of language used by Kyle Larson during Sunday's iRacing event. Our member conduct guidelines are clear in this regard, and we will enforce these guidelines to maintain an inclusive environment for our entire industry and fan base. And then he got suspended indefinitely. So NASCAR has suspended him indefinitely. Chip Ganassi has suspended him without pay. Larson also has to attend a sensitivity training course for about 2 to 4 weeks. Kyle Larson is suspended from the 42 car. Now, this is not a good situation. Kyle Larson, the nicest way to say this is he used a very poor choice of words, and it was very stupid. That's the calm way. You could obviously say much more about it, but very, 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 very stupid mistake by Kyle Larson to use a term like that, a word like that. You should never say that word. It's just very bad. Kyle Larson lost a lot of respect for him. And it just doesn't impact him. It doesn't impact... It impacts so many people. Obviously, he's suspended, and as he should be. It's a very good move by NASCAR and by Chip Ganassi Racing. We all saw that coming. A suspension was going to be the nicest thing, I think. I think if you think about it, he could have lost his car. This is not a good situation at all for him, for Chip Ganassi Racing, for the sponsors even, Credit One Bank, McDonald's, whoever else sponsors them, and NASCAR and all of the fans. I mean, if you look at each of those, Kyle Larson, obviously, it affects his job, it affects his life, it affects his family, because he's not getting paid. So his family, they're not getting any money right now. You think about his team, Chip Ganassi Racing, they have sponsorships. And sponsors, when something like this happens, they could pull out. They could say, we don't want to be associated with someone who says that. And they could pull out. And they have some big sponsors. McDonald's is a worldwide known brand. If McDonald's pulls out, that's really bad for Chip Ganassi Racing. So that's a big mistake. And then NASCAR, obviously. NASCAR's been stereotyped as, Deep South, redneck kind of thing, racist. And, this doesn't help. NASCAR's trying to get away from that stereotype. The fans, the drivers, they're trying to get away from that stereotype. And this definitely doesn't help. So that's very disappointing. But there's no context that word should be used. Very, very disappointed in Kyle Larson. It's a shame. It really is. I really don't want to get more into it, but I just wanted to say that I'm very, very upset with this whole situation. Kyle Larson should not have said that at all. It should not have even crossed his mind. It's a shame. It really is. I don't know what else to call it, but very poor choice of words, and he's rightfully punished for what he said. There are people out there trying to defend him. To you, I say you're wrong. there's no context that the word he used should be used. No context whatsoever. So he has failed himself. He has failed his team. He has failed NASCAR. That's a big mistake by Kyle Larson. And then there's also, to the people making it political, please don't stop. Just stop what you're doing, okay? Read past the headline. Not if you're seeing this and you're not a NASCAR fan, not all NASCAR fans and drivers are like this. I'm sure in almost every sport there's this very, 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 very small percentage of bad people, but no, NASCAR fans, they're genuinely good NASCAR fans. I'd say the majority of them are. Okay, don't stereotype, don't put all NASCAR fans in one category because one guy made a mistake, okay? So with that being said, I guess I'll close this video out. Very upset with Kyle Larson. He apologized very, very quickly this morning. This happened last night, pretty late. I think it was around 9 or 10 o'clock. But Larson issued an apology via Twitter this morning. And then also Chip Ganassi, they made a pretty quick decision about 9 o'clock this morning, and then NASCAR followed right after that. Very good decision by Chip Ganassi Racing and NASCAR to suspend him. That shouldn't be tolerated, and Kyle Larson made a mistake. He's owning up to that mistake. He realizes he made a big mistake, and he is accepting his penalty as he should. That's it for today's video. It's unfortunate that I had to make this. I really didn't want to have to ever make something like this, but here we are. It's a shame. I'm disappointed.